Hello and welcome to Deep Blue Sea, the podcast. I am Mark Flea and Tick Killer Spray Hoffmeyer.
So what I was going to use.
Really?
So he won't do that. And I am Jay, headless gingerbread man Cluett. And this is Deep Blue Sea, the podcast, where we have gone through all of the Deep Blue Sea films, chapter by chapter, looking at Deep Blue Sea adjacent films, and now and then, as is today, we do a Deep Blue Scene, where we look at a Deep Blue Sea adjacent scene. And today is our holiday special Deep Blue Scene. We're doing a festive film. We're doing Gremlins. And I can hear you asking, like, what Deep Blue Sea adjacent scene is there in Gremlins? Well, there's a creature kitchen fight. So we're going to talk about the creature kitchen fight, because it's any excuse to work Gremlins. It's a great film.
Absolutely.
So a little bit of backstory to the scene. Billy, Zach Galligan, has been gifted this mogwai, this adorable little creature. He didn't follow some rules, and it spawned some monstrous eggs which have hatched with just his mother in the house, and they're now running amok in the kitchen, and she has to deal with this. So, Mark, it was your idea to talk about this scene. Why did you want to talk about it? Why did you want to pitch it?
Well, I'm a big fan of creature kitchen fights. Jurassic Park, Alien Resurrection, Deep Blue Sea, Gremlins. I love when monsters are in a kitchen with a human and they have to fight. Like, I love it. It's great. And the reason I pick Gremlins is this is one of my all-time favorite scenes. It really is. If I had to pick a scene that I love more, there are some, but this is one of my favorites because Mrs. Peltzer, right? I mean, these Gremlins have already proven themselves to be killers. They took out Mr. Hansen. One of them killed Mr. Hansen by itself. So you have this scene where the mom, Mrs. Peltzer's walking around the house. Like, she's toast. She's done. But she goes into warrior mode. And it's a legitimately vicious fight. I mean, it's bloody, it's gory, and I listened to the commentary, and it's part of one of the scenes from this movie that led to the PG-13 rating.
Yeah.
Just the microwave explosion, the blender. And you know what's crazy? So many people are shocked about the blender and the microwave. I think the most vicious part of this fight is when Mrs. Peltzer picks up a kitchen, like a folding TV tray, like a Spartan warrior from 300, right? She's blocking porcelain plates. She takes a knife. She's holding it. She flips it so that the knife is facing down so she can do like a psycho type movement on a gremlin. And she just unloads. She goes, "Get out of my kitchen," and just enthusiastically murders this creature. It's like 3 giant stabs. And later on, when you look in the background, that gremlin's writhing in pain in the background of the shot. It's still alive and just been stabbed into oblivion. But what I love is she just goes on the offensive. Like, I wrote an article. This is my first ever article for Cracked. It's called Horror Movie Characters Who Deserve More Credit. And I based it all on Miss Peltzer because, like, in any other movie, I feel like the mom would be dead. So many people die in these situations. I never, ever see it coming that she just obliterates 3 gremlins in a kitchen fight. And it's gnarly. It's bloody and it's gooey. And it's just green blood flying everywhere. And it's amazing. It's such a good fight.
Like, prior to this scene, she's kind of been not meek, I guess, but she's at the mercy of her husband's terrible inventions. She's kind of gone along with things like, we're gonna, your dad, he invented this terrible juicer, so we just kind of have to use this terrible. The coffee machine doesn't really work. We're just gonna she just kind of goes along with it. But here, it's she's defending her house. She's defending her kitchen. There's monsters, and she goes for it.
I wonder if this is like a long kiss goodnight situation where she has amnesia.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, Gina Davis has a pretty good kitchen fight in Long Kiss Goodnight. So I wonder if she somehow bumped her head 20 years ago and she was a CIA spy and now she's just living a suburban life. Because her battle, Jay, 3 large monsters. Also, I just want to say how tough she is because there's a scene where she's watching A Wonderful Life and cutting onions and she only drops like 1 tear.
And she keeps on, like, not watching while she's chopping.
Yeah.
I was on edge. That was unbearable.
Wait, she's like Gina Davis with the chopping.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think she has amnesia. I think she retains the memories. This is just like a witness protection kind of thing. She's just undercover.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there it is. Yeah, she is absolutely undercover. And she's stuck living in her, with her husband because she can't go anywhere because the mob will find her or the government, one of those two.
Yeah, and she's resigned, so she's just going to keep using these machines because if she kicks up a fuss, she's kind of maybe she's preventing the inventions from working so that her husband doesn't get famous and drags her into the
Whoa.
limelight, and then she'd be fined by the mob.
Secret sabotage.
Yeah.
Oh man, I love it. I hope her name was like Knuckles Carmichael before she moved in there. But I'm telling you, this scene, it always puts a smile on my face because these gremlins, they are badasses, man. Like they are tough, and they're looking around all creepy, and they're hunting her, and she just obliterates one. Like she absolutely obliterates it inside that blender. I mean, we're talking like its head is just turned into like green salsa, it's spraying
Yeah.
everywhere. And I listened to the commentary. There's two commentaries. I listened to it. They said the first one was too green, and it shot green all over the set, so they had to completely reset everything, which makes me so happy. And then I love the microwave. They blew up two gremlins. The first one, there was too much water. And then the second one was just right. It was just a puppet that got blown up inside of it. But I absolutely like adore her going on the offensive here. And it's kind of like the Deep Blue Sea fight too, where you don't see how like you. Okay, Jay, going into Deep Blue Sea, could you predict what happens in that fight?
I don't think you would predict like Preacher going into the oven and then hacking his way out of the oven. Like that's a new thing in that film.
Yeah,
So definitely not. You might predict the bird getting eaten, perhaps.
yeah. Oh yeah,
But then like the
that's
shark turning the oven on. Uh, you ate my bird, throwing a lighter. That's
oh man.
glorious.
And I know this is going to sound crazy, Jay, and you're probably going to hate me for it. But if I had to rank the four kitchen fights I talked about, the creature kitchen fights, I would do Gremlins, I would do Deep Blue Sea, I would do Alien Resurrection, then I would do Jurassic Park.
You've got Jurassic Park at the bottom or at the top?
Now, at the bottom, the only reason listen, they're all awesome. This is like someone going, "Hey, Mark, do you want $1 million? Do you want $1,001? Do you want $1,002? Or do you want $1,003?" Like they're all great, but the Jurassic Park fight plays out kind of the way it should. There's great mirror images and like great fake outs, but the kids are being chased. They're on the defensive. The raptors are jumping up and down. Good scares. The kids help each other. Good moment. I love it. But then Alien Resurrection, you have Xenomorphs swimming. They're just swimming. And one of them gets blown up by a rocket launcher inside underwater in a kitchen. Like that's an automatic 98% in my book. And then we have Deep Blue Sea, which we've talked about so much. It's just beautiful. The Helsinki Hollandaise, just the you ate my bird. He has a final line a third of the way through the movie. But when it comes to my favorite, it's this one, just because like she uses a like a TV tray as a shield with a knife that you watch her when she drops that knife, Jay. She has it,
Yeah.
and then she goes whoop. Like she knows she's gonna stab this gremlin to death. It's brutal.
My only problem with you ranking the Alien Resurrection one above Jurassic Park, and we'll talk about the Alien Resurrection scene in a future Deep Blue Sea.
Yeah.
But the fact that it's in a kitchen isn't really that important. They don't really use the kitchen equipment. They just happen to be going through a kitchen.
That's
Whereas
fair. And
Jurassic Park, they look up raptor in the freezer. They're hiding in there's the mirrored covers. There's the ladle, the magic ladle that turns off on its own. Like there's no reason to turn. It's just stay there, but no reason. So the fact that it's a kitchen kind of makes sense to me. And the same with Gremlins is the best one. I'll agree because it's got so many good elements to it, and the fact that it's a kitchen is integral to every element of the scene. But just we have to give a nod to the puppetry. Which saying the puppetry of Gremlins is great is no hot take, but just the one the guy who's like next to the blender, which I think is actually a Peltzer cake mixer, but because he's terrible, it works as a blender. So it's just sat there and it's chewing on this gingerbread biscuit, and before Mrs. Peltzer enters the scene, it's just kind of this robotic chewing. It looks a little bit fake, but then when it hits her, the ear pops up and it sneers and it turns and it's real. It's an actual creature. I'm in.
No, that's wonderful that you said that too, because that head turn and that bite, it looks like that. I would put that right up there with Rancor in regards to it's real.
In the mixer and it's spinning around and there's chunks flying everywhere. Oh, it's glorious.
Here's the industriousness of Miss Peltzer too. I mean, and I don't want to. You're right though. These gremlins are beautiful, and the gremlin explosion
Yeah.
in the microwave. I mean, that's so brutal. And I'm glad we did see a little gremlin being stabbed, because then we might feel bad for the gremlins. Like if they did a cut, to the gremlin just getting slashed by Mrs. Peltzer, you might feel bad for it, wouldn't you?
I think you might, especially like the expression that we see on her face is a horror villain expression.
Yeah.
She could. This is the kind of the scene. Yes, we had the teacher being taken out in the previous scene, but this is the horror movie switch here, where Gremlins becomes a horror film, and in
Yeah.
this scene, she is the villain from the Gremlins' perspective. But my wife we watched the whole film again this week. My wife hadn't seen it before, and we got to this scene and she's like, "This is a kids' film, right?" And it's like in the UK, this had a 15 rating when it came out. This wasn't
Oh,
a
wow.
PG. It's been downgraded to a 12A now. It had a 2012 re-release, but when it first came out, it was a 15, which
Wow.
is mainly because of this scene and maybe also because of the Santa's not real story.
Where Dad broke the neck.
Which I love the story. Its placement in the film is bizarre. Like in the middle of a big action scene, they just duck away like, oh, this is why I don't like Christmas. My dad disappeared. He was dead in the chimney.
Oh, it's so beautiful though. I love it so much. It's just so messed up, that speech. And it makes me happy every time. And the thought of children watching this in '84, just I mean, like Goonies was PG too. I feel like Goonies is a PG-13 movie as well. And
So.
Indiana Jones was PG. And so I just love that these films, Dante was saying it. He's like, yeah, these scenes were what led us to making PG-13.
Yeah,
and it makes me so happy.
Temple of Doom was the first one to get a 12 in the UK, I think, as well. Yeah. Well, the heart ripping out was taken out of the UK cut.
Oh,
okay. That's still, I have that on DVD. That's still not in there.
Really?
Yeah.
So,
I listened to the Indiana Jones Minute podcast, and they were talking about the heart ripping out scenes. And I'm like, oh, they're going into quite a lot of detail on this. That's not in the film. But I've seen a version. You can have to look it up online to see the scenes of the actual heart being taken out. It's still not in the UK cut.
Wow. Oh man, I love when we've talked about Goonies with the squid fight too. That was only on Disney, but it wasn't on general cable, so I didn't even know it existed. I thought it was like a fever dream until I actually read about it and saw the deleted scenes on the DVDs. But that's funny. But I mean, that heart scene was nuts. I still remember watching that as a kid in the '80s, maybe early '90s, just going, "This is too much for me. This is a lot." Like, thanks Spielberg, but I mean, this moment though, this is a horror movie moment. This is like an R-rated. Gremlins blood. I mean, the blood is green, so that lets you get by with a lot.
Yeah, if these were
and
people,
they don't show the stabbings.
This would be like an NC-17 film if these were people. They put a guy in a blender.
Oh man, just absolutely like. And that point, I feel bad for these gremlins. I really do, man. She just, I love Miss Peltzer. Because she's, I'm not, I think things can subvert trends and still be bad. So I'm not saying just because it subverts a trend is the reason why I'm putting it number one. I just think it's so refreshingly different. Yeah. I guess for me, it's
a shame that she gets kind of dropped off at the neighbors, and then we don't really see her for the rest of the film. Like, she could have been in it and doing stuff with them the whole way through.
I mean, she knifed a large gremlin to death.
She sprayed one in the face with bug spray into a microwave. She like herded it into a microwave with bug spray. How do you do that?
She's like the Jason Bourne of 1980s witness protection suburban moms, because he uses newspapers, he uses pens, like she uses a blender, she uses a table, she uses a knife, she uses spray, she uses the microwave. Like she's just a industrious, amazing lady, and the look on her face when she is just and I love when she's watching
I've got it that's shot. It's just on my screen. It's gonna stay there. It's gonna be in the Instagram post. It's great.
Oh, she's a beast, and I'm so happy to talk about it because that's why I think Gremlins is such a classic. Is for me at least is because it has these really weird moments. So you have the speech by Phoebe Cates. You have they're just singing Snow White, Hi Ho. You have the kitchen fight. It's an odd little movie. There's a lot of personality to it, and I think that's why it's endured all these years.
You've got Dick Miller and his xenophobic rants all the way through it, which is like, okay,
oh my gosh, yeah,
maybe not today, but in the 80s that was fun.
Yeah. I mean, listen, it's very much so an 80s movie. Yeah. We can't, but that's been talked about ad nauseum too. So that's why I'm glad we're talking about the kitchen fight, because Peltzer she was the original Gina Davis from Long Kiss Goodnight.
I think so.
I have a question, Jay.
Yeah.
Like, what would you do if three Gremlins were here? Would you go to war with them or would you run?
I'm trying to think, what have I got in my kitchen? Like, we've got a KitchenAid, which seems far less lethal than the Peltzer one, because like it's also harder to lean around a door frame and turn on. So I don't think that would work. Like, I'd have to try and like our microwave is buried away in a larder. That's gonna be hard to herd a gremlin into. I'd say if I go like the oven. The oven is the best I've got. Like, the knives are in a drawer. My kitchen is not well designed to defeat gremlins.
We need to gremlin fight our kitchens. Like, we need to redecorate.
Yeah, I think so.
We should have a Netflix show where we go into people's homes and we decorate their kitchen to prepare them for gremlin fights.
Would it always be for gremlins? Would we mix it up each week? So this week is gremlins, next week is we're gonna deep sea proof your kitchen, and then we're gonna raptor proof your kitchen. We're gonna crawl alligator proof your kitchen.
Well, I guess regionally, right? Like, what's the regional issues here? So, like, Florida, we got to crawl proof it.
Wait, where are gremlins going to be a problem? Region, it's pretty Chicago, right?
Yeah, gremlins are everywhere.
They're in all the machines. Yeah.
And so I think actually I would just drop off Chloe Grace Moritz from Shadow in the Cloud at everybody's house to fight gremlins.
Yeah,
because she can throw like legit front kicks onto these things.
What a ridiculous film that is.
People hated that movie, but I'm like, why? I mean, I know the first half hour is kind of like a war of attrition, but then when she gets blown back into the plane from an explosion, and then people are like, that's so dumb. It's like, have you watched an action movie before?
I had fun with it, but it is a very silly film.
Yeah, she front kicks a gremlin in a pool of water. And it's amazing, and it makes me so happy. So yeah, just drop off Chloe Grace Moritz into their house.
Yeah,
clone her.
You've got to give her a box to protect, because that's what she needs. Without the box, she'll just walk away, I think. No spoilers for what's in the box, but everyone knows what's in the box.
What's in the box? What's in the box? But I don't know. Sorry again, but yeah, this Miss Peltzer, man, it just I think she's so unheralded. I really do. I just think this is a lady who, I don't know, she just, are there similar scenes where someone like a similar character just goes and just wrecks shop, and it's not like a comedy or this is a one of a kind.
You've got stuff like Nobody, where that's the whole premise of the film, is he's a former, whatever, agent or whatever, assassin, whatever he was, where he gets pushed too far and takes out a bunch of people on a bus, which fantastic scene. But that's what the whole film is. You're kind of expecting that to be the case, and same with Shang-Chi. Like, who is this guy? Oh, he wrecks houses on a bus. But again, that's what the film is. I think that the key with Mrs. Peltzer is she's not the main character. This is a genuine surprise watching this thing. Like, you could arguably think, she's gonna die. She's had the calls to warn her, but she's got a knife, and there's 3 gremlins plus another one we don't see in a Christmas tree. Like,
that's a cheap shot.
It is. It's hiding it. It comes close to taking her out because it's cheating.
Yeah, it needs to cheat against Peltzer. It realized quick, like, I need to get in this. I need to cheap shot this woman. She's a beast.
See, I can't think of any like surprise, ruthless killer characters appearing. I do like the homage to this scene in Snakes on a Plane where the guy puts the steak in the microwave and explodes on the plane.
A David R. Ellis joint. I love that call. Yeah, I think in 90% of movies, this mom would be, like Halloween 6, the mom gets killed. Like this mom would run away or be trapped in a room or need protecting. And she does get sick. Like she does have a gremlin on her, but it's from Cheap Shot
Yeah,
after she defeated 3 other creatures.
and she like sits out the rest of the film because she gets quite a bad scratch in the face, which okay, fair. But
I want to
it's a
see her
shame.
after this. They should have just had a complete scratch down her face. And then the next movie, she's just
a
scarred
milky
up.
eye.
Yeah. Just looking angry, like this super tough. She's gone back to her Knuckles, what was her name? McGinty?
I think
Wait, that's the character from Paddington 2.
it is. Like
Wait, what was her name?
This
Knuckles.
It wasn't. It was Knuckles something. But when Gizmo puts on the Rambo bandana in the sequel, she should have shown up with in that same scene with full like ammo bandoliers and it just going full Rambo.
Like Danny Trejo from Desperado. She just has
Yeah.
throwing knives, and she's
Yeah.
just stabbing. Like she's, like she's that movie's so zany, but she's in the background just stabbing gremlins to death.
Or
And everyone's like, this is just too much.
Or a whole scene plays out, and at the end of it, you find out that she's been like camouflaged and hiding in that scene for like 20. She just like stands up in the background and just wreaking havoc amongst all the gremlins. She's just become some kind of ultimate warrior, able to hide anywhere and take out anyone.
Just slicing. I mean, more unbelievable things have happened in cinema. I mean, this is a movie about gremlins.
Yeah.
It breaks the fourth wall.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
And hey, I don't know if you have too much out here, but I also want to talk about. I just want to pay some love to some other like unheralded characters in horror movies.
Okay,
I don't know.
yeah.
So the conductor from Train to Busan, that guy just keeps the train running. Like he's like he doesn't stop. He keeps going. He saves people. He waits. And then I'm gonna say Yara from It Follows. I think she's awesome. And then I'm going to say the kid from World War Z who saves Brad Pitt, and then Brad Pitt saves the world. And then I'm going to say Rose Byrne from 28 Weeks Later.
Okay. Yeah.
Until she gets her head turned into a pumpkin that gets dropped from a 3rd-story building.
Yes. Yeah, I can't. It's springing it's on me. I can't think of anyone.
Yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. But they never get love. I like tackling that. I like tackling, like, oh, wow, like, these people do deserve some props. But, oh, man, what a fight. I'm glad we did this.
Me too.
Merry Christmas. Happy Christmas. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Yeah, so we're going to have one more episode out next week on Long Kiss Goodnight, the second half of our Happy Harlan Days celebration we're doing this year with the 2 Rennie Harlan Christmas films. So that's coming next week. Also, I need to shout out to Mogwai Minute who've done the Gremlins 1 and 2 minute at a time. A very fun podcast out there. Some great hosts. So check out Mogwai Minute as well.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, this has been a fun talk about Gremlins. A wonderful scene. Thank you for suggesting it. If you want to know my ranking, it's Jurassic Park at the top. No, so Gremlins, Jurassic Park, Deep Blue Sea, Alien Resurrection is my ranking.
That's fair.
Kitchen Face.
I just moved Jurassic Park ahead of Alien Resurrection because you're right. It doesn't feature an exploding xenomorph underwater, but it uses the kitchen well. So I'm going to go Gremlins, DBS, Jurassic Park, and then Alien Resurrection. You swayed me to move it one spot up.
I'll take that. Yeah, look out for an Alien Resurrection Deep Blue Scene episode sometime next year, probably.
And go to Out Now with Aaron and Abe, their podcast, and I did a commentary with them for Alien Resurrection. That was fun. A lot of goo talk.
It's a fun film. And message them to say, hey, Jay should be on one of your movie commentaries sometime.
Yeah. Should get him on Twitter. Say Jay needs to be on one. Yeah. Jurassic Park 3.
I'll take it. I don't like it, but I'll take it.
Listen, it's a short movie.
It is.
So, yeah.
That's bad about it.
Alan.
Anyway.
Did it say Alan? Is that what it says?
It says Alan a couple of times. It's a dream sequence. It's very, very stupid.
Wait, it says dream sequence?
Yes, it does. Alan, you're in a dream. You're dreaming. You're not in Kansas anymore.
That sounds like in a very Jeff Goldblum voice. So it speaks like Jeff Goldblum.
If it laughed like Jeff Goldblum, I would love that. If the rap was like, ha, 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 yeah, that would be wonderful.
What if it was just playing a banjo?
I mean, better, yeah. Let's get a rapped with a ukulele. I'm here. Yeah, do it.
Oh, rap with uke. Because just make it insane.
Why not? You're in a dream sequence in a film where dinosaurs exist again. Why are you limiting yourselves to it can talk? Why isn't it wearing a kilt and doing a tap dance?
I would love to see him. They just fly past Malcolm as he's flying, and no one ever says a word about it. He looks like Superman.
Well,
and then no one ever says a word. Is that Dr. Ian Malcolm? Yeah.
Yeah, he does that now.
So, Billy, how you doing? How's your 3D printing?
That 3D printer in that film is so fast for 2003 as well. It's too fast.
And when he blows that thing too, he does this really earnest face. And he goes, "Woo!" I'm like, what is this? What's happening here? I love Joe Johnson. No offense, Joe Johnson. No big fan.
When they're like, no, don't make that noise. Make this other noise, as if it's some instrument he's been playing for years and knows what he's doing.
Yeah, A minor. I think that's a chord.
Yeah, don't like call for help, but that's going to draw more actors to you because you're the one. Anyway, whatever. Not a fan of Jurassic Park 3. I have done a commentary of it before.
Jay just threw an entire notebook behind him, and it just flew up in the air. Yeah. You just keep a group of notebooks around so you can throw them behind you. Yeah. Is that what it is?
Yeah. It's darkness behind me in this room for a reason, because just all the notebooks are blocking out the light.
It's a fire hazard, Jay.
Yeah, I know.
It's worth it.
I'm
let it burn.
Gremlin proofing my room. I'm setting up fire traps everywhere so they can't. If they attack me, I'll just burn them down.
That's really smart. You get vampires, zombies. Like, you're safe against a lot of creatures.
Yep.
The Thing.
Yeah, the Thing. Hopefully. Yes. We'll see. Good. Okay, I think we should get out of it.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
So yeah, listen to us on other Deep Blue Sea episodes. Listen to us on Con Air, the podcast. We're going through Con Air chapter by chapter. You can find my stuff on lifeversusfilm.com or once a month over at hosting Lampardy over on the Lamcast. What about you, Mark? What's on Movies, Films, and Flicks these days?
Let's see. I just released an episode about Grizzly. I have a very wide-ranging, all over the place interview with Josh Rubin, the star of What a Wounded Fawn, and what's the other one? Producer of Blood Relatives. I jump all over the place, so be ready for that. And then I got like the best Marvel moments of 2022 coming out. I got the random awards coming out. Jay, you got to send me a few.
Yes, I do.
And then I have the best horror moments of 2022. So I got a bunch of just kind of wrapping up the year.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So as I mentioned, come back next week for Long Kiss Goodnight, another Rennie Harlan film. But as for the Gremlins kitchen fight, I've been Jay Cluett.
And I'm Mark Hoffmeyer, who, if you go to Movies, Films, and Flicks and type in Deep Blue Sea commentary and you want to listen to the most uncomfortable thing you've ever heard in your life, do it. It's terrible. And I released it because I'm a maniac. Live and learn. But yeah, this is Mark Hoffmeyer.
I've still never listened to it. But we'll Deep Blue see you again soon.